and welcome to the AEW Dynamite review. We are the Dudley Boys of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilbourn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick, here to review last night's episode of AEW Dynamite. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. We do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review AEW Dynamite, but also Raw, SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. Pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week, complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, they're joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to review last night's AEW Dynamite, and what an eventful show this was.
I thought this was pretty much an excellent show. There were two significant developments on it. I would have swapped them round for reasons I'll get into probably at the end, really. But some really good wrestling, that's kind of expected. The result of a certain match on this show blew my tits off in a way that I thought, my God, the level of thought that's got into this. It just feels like Tony Khan's really dialed in. I didn't expect it. It was about time to do something bold with your big picture AEW storytelling. We often use the example of Hangman Page versus it was 5 years ago now, of like sort of a measure of how things have changed in AEW and how very formulaic and predictable it can be. We can almost use a new example of that particularly enthralling booking device, because now that, spoiler alert, Andrade beat Kenny Omega rather unexpectedly, but it was a sort of result where if you go back and piece it together, it kind of makes all the sense in the world. When we get into it, I'll clarify my thoughts more. I feel like I'm all over the place in this intro because I don't want to like blow my beans, you know, just talking about this at the start. But when we get to Kenny Andrade, I'll have a lot to say, all of it positive. However, not all of it is positive across Dynamite. There was some cringe-worthy on this show and some, we're doing this until Double or Nothing, then cool. And then the women, of course, get shafted. So, not ideal across the board, but my God, the most important stuff matters.
Yeah, the headlines, yeah.
And that really carries it. I mean, look at 1998 Attitude Era. I'm not saying it's going to get as big as that, pancakes, waffles, people, but my God, you kind of only need one hot act.
Yeah. Doesn't take a lot for a company to feel like it's in form, really.
It's a good main event, really. That's kind of all you need.
Because it encourages you that they're thinking about the most important thing, and if they're giving that much thought to that, then there is a trickle-down effect. It's not always true, but you're willing to go along with that enough. I kind of pretty much share your sentiment in terms of the enjoyment of the overall show. This was like the best Dynamite of the year, but there's been good ones all year.
Yeah.
There hasn't been like a great episode until last night, I don't think, but there's been loads of little moments where you think, well, that's pretty great. I kind of want to see what's happening. Like, this was a little bit wrestling heavy for me, this one, to be honest. You could have probably lifted a match off and it would have,
too.
Yeah. I know that's like a bit of a me thing to say, but yeah, like I think there was, like, everything went a touch too long with the exception of the stuff that matters. But it didn't, like, overall impact my enjoyment of the show or my memories of it as we sit down and talk about it now. I know I had a great time with this. It's like AEW's in a really good place, I think. Like Grand Slam appearing as the pay-per-view, but not really a pay-per-view. Perfect spot in the calendar. It's meant that the destination of Revolution feels huge, but they've got something to point towards. It's like, oh God, I miss the days of the quarterly pay-per-views or even the sixers. Sixers. It's really revealed, like, proof if proof you need be, that the monthly pay-per-view cycle really harmed how Tony Khan does.
How far away is Grand Slam in terms of, like, on the calendar? It's probably what?
9 days
away?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just realised as you were talking, I got excited. I don't get to use that very often.
No.
But yeah, loved this show. And, well, I didn't like the main event, but that's separate in terms of personal feelings.
Of course.
But the way it played out was sensational. And I mean, who could have called Andrade going over Kenny Omega? But we'll get to that. We'll start at the beginning of the show. It's Wednesday night, you know what that means. Excalibur opens up with a rundown of the whole show, and then we throw to all the pre-recorded comments from everyone saying, I'm going to win, basically.
What's the motivation behind that? That's a Collision-esque way to start a show, isn't it?
Maybe.
Like, which I know they bought, like, it's...
Well, the Collision went up, and he was telling me, like, 90% in the ratings, so that's an influence. Jesus Christ, do what they do. Get me Tommaso Ciampa.
Jesus Christ, that's Tommaso Ciampa.
That explains the drab matches. do what Collision does. We need to drab this up a little bit. Can we make this bone f***ing dry for liars? I think we can. I think we could add 5 to all of these matches.
I get it, Brody.
Well, I didn't mind them, but they don't normally do that on Dynamite. I liked it.
And we dive straight into it with the Death Riders. That's Mox, Pac, and Daniel Garcia versus the Don Callis family, here represented by Konosuke Takeshita, El Clon, and the Walking Weapon. It always makes me laugh when I hear his nickname, Josh Alexander, because in this country...
Different connotations.
Yeah, that would be slightly...
Basically, the American equivalent of that would be the Walking...
Strolling douchebag.
The Walking Asshole.
So it takes through a break. El Clon eats a bounce-back German from Pac, who sets up for a big lariat where he bounces off the ropes, but he's tripped by Alexander, and Clon hits that one-leg springboard moonsault as Pac's pulled to the outside and beaten down. When we come back, Pac's fighting away. He's in trouble, but finally he comes to his corner, and Mox and Takeshita come back in, and those two go out the crowd. They've done it earlier, but the crowd absolutely loved this. They trade exploders. Mox stands
I'm sure
tall.
I would if I was there.
It was good for the live crowd, this match, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I wasn't there.
No.
He sends Alexander to the outside and catches a diving Clon with a mid-air cutter. Garcia makes a blind tag, comes in. Moxley takes out Takeshita with a King Kong lariat. Garcia puts the Dragon Tamer on, and Moxley curb stomps him. So Garcia goes, oh, bloody hell, take that. Goes for a cover, but Alexander makes the save to break that up at 2. Clon takes out Pac with a one-legged Asai moonsault, but eats a Mox Tope Suicida. And then Garcia tries a Cazadora on Takeshita, but he blocks that into a bastard driver and a release German. Clon and Alexander fancy a bit of that. There's a load of smashes in the corner, basically. Takeshita hits the power drive knee. Garcia kicks out. He fires up. Takeshita's like, right, I'll just do this then. Raging fire. 1, 2, 3. And just to cover up for later on, obviously, Takeshita and Mox is now set for Grand Slam.
I feel like I'm going to come across, even more than usual, as such a numb, spoiled bastard. But who could possibly give a shit about this well-worked trios match?
Yeah. Thank you.
Seriously.
The weapons one was so much fun the other week.
Yeah, that was fun.
And
Again,
really.
sequencing was bad because you're doing, Death Riders versus Don Callis stuff. Hardly like an incredible feud of the year, personal issues, draw money candidate. But you're doing a pretty boring, straight sequel to a plunder match. So the sequencing is off there. This just felt like, need 10 minutes to fill here. They're going to feud until Anarchy in the Arena. It seems like, let's just do another one of these. This was Hamflett, and I resent him for this because I'm super jealous. Coined years ago at this point. Moves happening in front of me.
It's a curse on NXT in that era.
Yeah, now it's a curse on it. It's a blight, a curse on AEW because I'm just God, how do people care about this? If you're live, it's awesome watching it live.
Dynamite opener. Moxley's a massive star. There's lots
you're
to...
excited for,
lots to get
you're there in
for.
the building. Anything's great live pretty much. It has to suck live. I'm watching this on TV going, the outcome of this match won't matter. They will run back various combinations of the respective stables in the weeks and hopefully not, but it feels like maybe the months to come. I don't know really why the Death Riders, I'm supposed to say I'm an AEW fan and I buy into the romantic cult. I'm a part of their tribe and they've really, not great effect, really hammered that home over the past 2 years as part of their storytelling initiative. It's where the best wrestler. You have to kind of be in the cult, in the tribe, to love this as much as, is possible, I think. Surely you should have a bit more care and attention then to why I'm meant to be cheering the Death Riders. Seriously, I need a reason. And I don't need exposition. I don't need it to be spoon-fed to me, but I need something. I need to know why, after about, 18 months, 2 years of the Death Riders, and I'm the AEW fan. I'm the target audience now. AEW's to be under constant attack, and I'm the one who's still here as the downsized venues. I'm the target audience they're playing in front of because it's where the best wrestle. That's what we are. Like it or lump it, that's what we are now. Okay, well, I love AEW. 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 They wanted to destroy these Death Riders. Everything I hold dear, me, target audience guy. They've tried to attack my heroes. They've written several of them off television. Mm-hmm. They've cheated multiple times and countless matches to seize control over AEW, which they want to ruin, and they've tried to destroy all of our beloved heroes. I know I'm being a dickhead here, but think of it as the fictional world they have constructed. I'm describing it in an obnoxious way. Nonetheless, I am describing it. They're baby faces because they're starting to fight heels. And that's pretty much it. And in the process of doing this, they have squandered what really did feel, and I'm not being funny, I saw Claudio Castagnoli's face. I saw Pac's face. I saw Shafia's face. That was not by accident. This really feels like a drop direction. Boring. I know it sounded like erection, but could we just...
I saw his face go. I saw it.
He did it first.
I know.
I had a little...
How could you drop an erection? It makes no sense.
No, you're right. It just feels like they've just forgotten about it.
I know he can drop an erection. It's by watching John Moxley over the past 3 weeks. I'm not excited anymore, I'll tell you that. I love gold.
Yes, he's back.
It's back, gold Mox. I really don't want to come across like one of these people, like the Raj Giris, the Eric Bischoffs, that little boy, Justin LeBar. God, Billy Gunn was great, actually. Hell. Why are you 1999 Mr. Ass? Is nostalgia's grip that powerful? Maybe go out and, have a more meaningful life.
50 minutes, love. I'm just caping for the one Billy Gunn.
Yeah, I know. Unbelievable.
Mr. Grace, you have to go and
I have to go out and touch it. Right. I really don't want to be confused with those.
I love to touch it.
I like to mow it. I'm a grass man. So I do not want to come across like one of these
Davis
people.
and Doyle, we've got lawnmowers that don't want f*** up the ass.
Oh, it's up now, not in.
Oh yeah,
Both work. Both
both
work.
yeah.
I like up's funnier. I think I don't know why.
They've had to rebrand.
So I do not want to be confused, but come on, like, if I like the characters and I'm into what the characters are doing and the story that they're telling, and ideally it makes sense and what have you, I'll like it more. If I'm kind of cross with the direction, or I don't really get it, or I find it's just an excuse to do matches, the moves, therefore, just become the sort of well-executed moves I have seen for years.
I'm glad you said don't really get it, because I feel like I've missed a step somewhere here. I like that idea, by the way, like, oh, now we're all right because we're just fighting heels. Sorry about the bleach drinking.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, I fed you bleach. Like, if they have to team together next week on Dynamite or something, like, have I missed a step other than John Moxley loves gold? It doesn't feel the right time at all for him and Takeshita to me. I know this is a graphic that when you're talking about Grand Slam's got this great card, and when you listing off things, Moxley Takeshita is something.
I understand. Sorry, just to clarify, because I feel like I don't want to be misrepresented by myself. Mox did some great babyface work in the C2 and beforehand.
Yeah.
And sort of owned up to his failures and won the right way. So I understand the Mox part of the turn, but the rest of them I don't get.
Yeah.
They're a unit I'm meant to be.
They're sort of backing him, no questions asked kind of thing. I don't really understand how we've landed at Moxley Takeshita now. Well, I understand it. You can book a match. It's fine.
Yeah.
But in terms of where you would have imagined the hatred might be between the Death Riders and the Don Callis family, where Takeshita was heading into that first Okada match as the next breakout babyface, isn't he sort of the worst guy to be booking him against right now, other than match quality?
I don't know why you're so confused about this. It's very simple to understand, okay? So you got the Death Riders, who are de facto babyfaces, stay with me.
Okay.
And you got the Don Callis family, who are heels. Mm-hmm. Now, just because you got Wheeler Yuta being a heel in the babyface unit and Konosuke Takeshita being a babyface in the heel unit. Okay, what's so hard to understand about that?
Good point. Yeah, this feels like we talked about it last week.
the hair versus hair match as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is like a sort of confluence of, for me, the two things that have, like, in this, we're going to be really positive on this review, like the two things that have stalled the most in 2026, which is the momentum that Takeshita had within the feud with Okada and the Jon Moxley babyface turn from within the Death Riders. They're the sort of...
Now they're together. A brutal reminder.
Yeah, like it's almost like they've been forced together to be like, see, look, both are still happening, but they're not happening. Both things have stalled. Mm-hmm. It's like, I know match good. I know graphic great.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't feel like the heat is there as it would have been, say, when Jon Moxley was the proper top heel and Takeshi's like, not being a baby face about it, being, I'm not scared of you. I'll fight you. Like, how cool would have that been when Takeshi's on the rise? I don't fear you. Like, that would have been great, wouldn't it? Yeah. This is nowhere near any of that.
No, it's this Moxley stuff just reeks.
We go backstage following this. There is Swerve and Prince Nana. Renee asks where his focus is now after he's out of the world title picture, and he doesn't say anything, just lets Nana talk for him. Focus is right where it's always been. Just because they lost one match doesn't mean they're going anywhere. And then Swerve and Nana just walk off, and we'll see more of them a little bit later.
No. I remember watching this before. Obviously, we know what Swerve's going to do next. I was peaked. I was like, well, what is it actually? I'm glad they asked that question for me.
We also got a lovely video package on Will Ospreay. He's very talented.
I thought this video package was excellent, by the way.
Got my hopes up slightly. And obviously they just, don't know. No word on the surgery's a success, but
they
no
know
word
what
on
they're doing.
Return.
They know what they're doing. This doesn't happen without.
This doesn't happen without them knowing. Right, we have a date, a penciled-in date. In a way, like you have to learn the lessons from Triple H. Like, do not overdo this. Right? Do not over promote someone coming back because it'll just feel a bit grabby. But obviously, I want Will Ospreay is one of the very best wrestlers in the world. You forget how incredible he is because he's too incredible almost for his own good. But like, what I love about this is I almost wish it was like not in the next few weeks. If it's like 2 months from now and you get one of these, not too much, it really builds the idea of, it's called a wrestling promotion. You really build the idea of like, oh my God, this difference maker, this very best wrestler in the world, like get hyped for it. He's coming back soon. Obviously for his health, I wish he was good to go now. But in a way, it's a good thing if he's still 2 months off and they're doing this now.
Yeah, I was going to say it's promising signs with 6 months till All In, over 6 months. Yeah,
if they keep doing this, but again, not too much.
His return would be the Owen potentially, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
he wants to win it this time around rather than.
Of course,
there's your perfect comeback date that justifies the return being much earlier than All In because it's like I'm back for this,
And then we got a standby match 30 minutes into the show. It was Orange Cassidy and Timeless Toni Storm versus Jordan Oasis and Brittany Brooks. They have, of course, she's toxic. So...
See all that one more time? I drifted off.
Oasis and Brittany.
Thank you. So Oasis, a bald man like that, in there with Orange Cassidy.
I mean, it wasn't your best, but I like that you did it.
Anyway. You do better then. Go on, you do it.
Give us a minute. I'll work on something.
Oops, I look back in anger.
Better.
Okay, there you go.
It wasn't better. They were both absolutely bobbins.
You do it then.
So I'm trying to come up with an Oasis / Britney Spears song.
Exactly, that's what I've done there. You've seen through my cunning plan.
I'll do it. I'll just ignore I'll ignore the recap of your match and I'll think about this.
I'll do it.
This task that you've given me.
Hit me, baby, Wonderwall.
Good.
Yeah, because it's got the one. Yeah, that's better. At least it links.
Yeah.
Definitely sometimes.
That's very good, actually.
I don't really know that many Britney songs because I'm not a 12-year-old in 1999.
11. Yeah.
Never liked Brittany.
Toxics. I mean, I love Toxic so much. You could arguably say I'm toxic.
To the core.
Thank you.
Like, I'm not one of these.
I'm not huge on Brittany.
I'm not like one of these pop music. Oh God, you know why? Because I'm 40. And it's like, you know what? I hate people. Never mind. But it's not Brittany for me. Never liked the tunes.
Did you like that one where it's like, it's Brittany, bitch?
Yes.
Yeah. Thought you would. I thought I could see you liking that.
I always see Michael Scott in the car.
Driving it with Lady Gaga on the radio.
Every single time.
So anyway, Jordan Oasis, brilliantly cast, of course, a ball man in this match, offers Orange Cassidy a free shot, and he hits him with the lightest of touches, and he goes to hit him back. Sort of power slap-esque sets up for it. Here it comes, and obviously Cassidy ducks it and takes him down, and then looks at his own reflection in his bald head.
Yeah.
In comes Toni Storm. There's a sort of do-si-do by Storm and Cassidy. And then Storm takes out Brittnie Brooks with a tornado DDT. One for Jordan Oasis from Orange Cassidy. 2, Storm hits Sweet Cheek Music, and Cassidy hits the Orange Punch for the 1, 2, 3.
It's a match.
Do you want the post-match?
Yeah, I mean, that's what this was for. They could have just done it without the match.
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy's not sure about the whole hair versus hair mixed tag thing that's coming. He likes his hair, and Storm says...
He's got a great head of hair.
Yeah. Storm says her hair is her livelihood. She's going to look like a boiled egg or an angry penis. She crumbles to her knees looking at what Luther's head looks like,
I mean, that was good stuff, that is good stuff.
And Luther covers her in her robe, but she rises up and reminds herself and Cassidy and the audience who the hell they are. 2 things are going to happen in Australia. Either Cassidy's going to give Wheeler Yuta a comb over, or Storm is going to make Marina Shafir look like Mox.
So Toni Storm needed a funny week, not just a dancing. I'm hanging out with my friends, Mina Shirakawa and or Orange Cassidy. Aren't we having some fun here on the Pro Wrestling Combat Violence show? No. So I'm glad that I swear to God, sound like Ryan Satin. I'm sorry, but get the characters with the best attributes on the television program and have them, do their best work.
Yeah,
Not just have a nice LARP with some bangers.
Said LARP, you reminded me of that story, that guy who does the outdoor wizard role play or whatever that found the dead body. And he's talking about his mate finding the body and casting a spell on it or something like that. And then we knew he was definitely dead.
What?
There's that video, have you seen it, where he's speaking to a local news and he's so that when somebody, a runner or something, might have found a body in the woods and they're just being asked a question or whatever. This guy's still in his role playing attire and he's yeah, we just stumbled across it and my buddy John, he knew he was dead because he used a reanimator spell and it didn't bring him back life because they had some glitter or something. They basically desecrated the crime scene. It's a great video. It's such a brilliant clip because he's doesn't realize that this is going to be Potter. He's in it. He's really committed to the gimmick. Yeah, there's no irony at all with this. It's really good stuff.
Sorry, that's that is terrible.
This was asked and answered for me because this has been a collision program, and it's interesting with some of the top stars that needs to live on Dynamite. I'm not being facetious here. It's part of Grand Slam. It's got Toni Storm, one of your biggest current stars still, really, and Orange Cassidy, one of your legacy players, and the Death Riders, who are sort of in this limbo state. I don't want to be sort of surprised by this just for not watching Collision. I think this is, you had it a little bit with the Ciampa stuff later on. A good overlap of the stuff that's working is going to help both shows.
Yeah, this, just to clarify, does this count towards Ladies' Night?
No.
Okay, good. Just wanted to clarify. Me baby in the bushes one more time.
I like that a lot.
Really good.
I like that. That one's good.
I'm going to impress my dads eventually. You're proud of me now.
I always was, son. I just want to see you do your best work.
Thanks. So, earlier on in the day, here comes Darby Allin. That's the second one. He's skating to the arena, but oh no, a car's pulled up and a tire's been thrown at him. The War Dogs, Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors attack him, chuck him in the boots, gauze on it, and drive off.
Darby Allin. God, he finds himself in some pickles, doesn't he?
Darby, that's another fine mess you've gotten me into, Allin.
Classic scrapes with Darby Allin.
Honestly.
Some others do Allin.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Business.
The show-long storyline was absolutely everything about it was awful. AEW in some ways, right? It can just be when you're praising it, when you're watching it, whether you're not feeling it sometimes. It's kind of old hat. And it's a good, mostly very good version of the thing that comes to my mind. It might be different for other wrestling fans. Is Triple H, Randy Orton, and John Cena. One combination of those three wrestlers is doing literally everything on Raw for like 2007 and 2008.
Yeah.
Or like 2000, whatever.
Like for a couple of years, yeah.
Yeah, just like
Pay-per-view main event had one of them in.
I'm sure there was some kind of stat where it's like every single WWE title match had one of those three in it for like 19 straight months or whatever. Yeah. Like there is so much about AEW where it's a more exciting version of that. The matches are a lot better. It's less lame than that. But like you're watching Darby and you're watching Jack Perry. And like now, there are certain wrestlers who I know are incredible. I know they might do something incredible next week. They might have done something on last night's show that was like in and of itself pretty class, but do I need to see it? You're only one middling night away from like, oh God, I kind of resent you and it's not your fault. Like that Hangman, Darby, Jack Perry class of God, you have been in it for nearly 7 years at this point. And Darby, because he's been getting dragged around in body bags for 7 years.
You won't be told.
It's like, I don't think you're going to die anytime soon.
No.
I don't think the symbolism is the same weight that it did when you were in Daly's place and Team Taz were dragging you around and it was like, Jesus Christ, you're going to scrape his skin off.
That's
this is terrifying.
But I don't die.
Yeah, exactly. The half-dead man.
Excellent.
Because that's his,
Yeah.
Well, we'll do some stuff with that shortly, maybe later on in the program. But you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have, it's like, when, this is some of my least favorite wrestling stuff ever. And again, I love them. But they would trot out poor sack of era Mick Foley in like 2014, 2015 or whatever. And he'd come out and he'd...
Bad nickname for him, really.
Yeah.
the four fists full. Mankind do love Cactus Jack sack of shit.
But you know,
who's going to be in the Rumble this year?
Yeah.
Sack of shit
again. And he would come out. And he would come out.
Sack of
Sack of
It's Mr. Sacco shit.
I was determined to get that pop there, sir. Thank you.
I didn't even realise you were
Just wait for your own pop. I was doing now. You had to wait for your own pop. Let me do that for a couple of seconds and then get your pop.
Just like just kind of high, and then I was like, he's dude out. I feel like a sack of shit. What am I, Mick Foley?
Sacco.
Yeah.
But yes, that era of Mick Foley was
so he would come out.
one of the best ever. Vital. Crucial.
Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Without Mick Foley, The Undertaker would be doing stuff like this. Like, he's been stuck doing this forever.
Without Mick Foley, who you can actually blame for this, Triple H, I mean, get a push regardless. But,
without Mick Foley's 6 attempts.
Yeah, you start to ask questions. 2012, 13, 14, every October, when they're trying to build the hell... I'm going somewhere with this, by the way. That's the annual obligatory Hell in a Cell match, and Foley would come out and would, like, mediate the face-to-face 10, 15-minute promo between the wrestlers who were in the match. You gotta be careful. Look at me. I'm a shadow of my former self. This will shorten your career. Buy the pay-per-view or the network or whatever, guys. Because you might see someone do something really violent, and I'm living proof that that's not good. And then next year he would come out and do the same thing. And as the years passed by, you'd realise how bad can it be?
Mm-hmm.
How bad can this match be when Randy Orton's been in like 5 of them? Jesus. Hang on, he's in 7 now, and he's in all right, Nick, isn't he? How bad can it be? Darby Allin's in the Oh, he's getting his skin scraped. Half dead man's getting his skin scraped off from getting, towed in the desert. His skin's still there. It's been 7 years and he's still got his... It is like, how bad can it be?
It's just...
There's no gravity to any of it.
No.
So I hated the fact that they did it because they did this, like, we're talking 6 years ago in Daly's place. They did... I know it's an AEW quirk and you apparently you just have to live with it. But like, well, Darby Allin's getting dragged around in the desert, be that as it may, there's some more bangers incoming. Like Excalibur, it's one thing when it was already like to the back, that TNA where nothing really matters.
Yeah.
Where like you would have genuinely Excalibur and none of this worked because he doesn't have that personality or the emotion to sell it. And it would always be like, oh God, Darby Allin's just... His skin's getting ripped off in the desert. Oh, the humanity. All right, well, we got another great match coming up. I swear to God, I'll watch this. And I did rewind it twice. Oh, well, Darby Allin's in the desert with, Gabe Kidd. Anyway, be that as I may.
He said something along the lines of, we hope to have an update on Darby Allin going forwards.
who's going to get that update?
Roving reporter going on a
car chase
buggy
in the desert.
Buggy in the desert.
Buggy.
There's in the buggy.
Holding a long microphone.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Excalibur didn't even... He used to just go... Because he knew he had to, of course. Oh, the humanity. Anyway, back to bangers.
My favourite was the
didn't
end
even
of...
he did not even attempt to convey that Darby Allin's skin might have got ripped off.
Yeah.
It's at the end of SCU. He's like, there we have it then, the end of SCU's career. Anyway, quickly.
That was a TNA one. They were so guilty of that all the time. Nothing could register, whatever. This was...
Why am I watching this if nobody cares? Why am I watching it if nobody cares?
Like this is far from the first one. I'm going to use as an example, right? But I'm always conscious of like being called a hypocrite. Like this isn't the first example of a skit like this, right? But like Pillman's Got a Gun has a lot to answer for because that like WWE was getting his ass kicked by Nitro, right? So they just did this thing. Raw was going an hour later. Kevin Kelly is in the house as Brian Pillman, looking like Brian Pillman, by the way, like a proper wrestling one-off, leg in a cast, gun in his hand, against a Steve Austin that's about to take over the world. You were dealing with like two of the all-timers to be put in a specifically absurd situation, while Kevin Kelly, I'm not kidding, like stands there as if the is dribbling down his leg. Oh my God, what do we do? Like I didn't come to my shift at Monday Night Raw to suddenly be like interviewing a man who's holding another man at gunpoint while he's trying to break into his house. Cuts back into the building, you're watching this terrible taped Raw match. Say like it's Mark Mero versus Fake Diesel. Something like that, right? Couldn't sound any less appealing. The commentators are like what's going on in Cincinnati? We need to get Kevin Kelly on the phone. Like we need to get the camera feedback. Nothing matters. Nothing matters in this ring where there's a guy with Wildman on his tights. Yeah. When Steve Austin's smashing a window and Pillman's holding a gun to his head. Like, and then next week on Raw, Vince apologizes, and they knew what was going to be incoming complaints-wise. There was swearing and that. But like, that couldn't, as ridiculous as it is, to really stop and think about it, it couldn't have been played more seriously, more like, something's got to be done here. Bret Hart needs to, as daft as this sounds, Bret Hart needs to out-wrestle Stone Cold Steve Austin because somebody needs to stop him. Look how out of control this is getting. Like, it stays just the right side of why it even exists, and it's being performed by two of the most, like, convincing wrestling actors ever. Like, do not tell me that when Darby Allin, like, locks on a hammerlock on Clark Connors on Collision, that squares away being, like, dragged throughout the desert and, like...
And as well...
It doesn't...
Should I mention what they say, by the way? Because I feel like we talked about it basically now, the bit just before the main event.
Well, 2 seconds, I've got one more thing to say, sorry. And that is, Brian Alvarez gets pelters from, like, I'm not saying that the listeners come viewers of this podcast or anything like that. I'd like to think that we can all have a laugh.
Yeah.
Because after all, you gotta laugh. But Alvarez will say over and over and over again, AEW must produce and broadcast more video packages like loads more. Emphasize what you're doing. Make it mean something. Hammer home what we are doing here matters, and this is why this story beat is crucial. Or this star should be promoted because we want you to think it's a star. Emphasis, reiterate, and the people are just so like childish, frankly.
Stubborn.
Childish. They're babies. There are so many babies who'll go, eh. Yeah. Hey, Alvarez. The Willow.
He said his first words.
Yeah. And you go, do you want it to be like WWE? Is that what it is?
Back.
All right. I just want it to be like WWE, do you? Well, guess what? It's high art here in AEW. It's like, here's what they miss. They instantly go, like, the back just goes up. So I don't need to be spoon-fed. It's like, well, you quite literally do, you baby. And here comes the aeroplane, right? Because they think, it's like, I can follow the storylines, Mr. Alvarez. I don't need my hand to be held. It's fine. What he's saying is if you don't emphasize this, if you don't stress that this stuff's extremely important, Darby Allin just comes across like this wacky character in a world that even the world itself no longer cares about. We saw so many instances of this with the Death Riders. There's no punishments or suspensions, and it just adds to this deepening feeling that nothing matters in this world. And if nothing matters in this world, oh, well, let's just not buy tickets to the shows. Let's downsize the venues. Let's get TNA on our ass.
There's a million versions.
You know what I mean? It's got to matter at some freaking point.
Wrestling does this all the time. Like, WWE are more guilty of it, like, of this than AEW, even now. Like, Triple H, in theory, hates wackiness, right? Hates this sort of stuff. You would think, as a booker, but, like, these rules get broken. This is not an AEW problem exclusively. Like, it does untold damage to your wider storytelling universe when 3 months after cutting his hair, R-Truth puts his phone in a toaster. Do you know what I mean? Like, if that character can suddenly mean that little and be that stupid, and we just have to basically Men in Black, like Jedi mind, whatever you want to call it, like whatever's just happened, then you can apply that to every single story. Like, well, why should I care then? Like that feeling of like that apathy that you develop because like enough characters don't care about a thing that suddenly occurred that was supposed to be a big deal. Like, it's the same problem, albeit AEW can illustrate it differently because they're willing to go like wilder with their ideas. You're not going to get this. Like, Darby Allin was in that body bag. There was no stunt work happening here. So, like, at best, you could think, God, that would have knacked. He'd have gotten a graze or two. But then, throw back to something you said, the man climbed Everest. Mm-hmm. That should be your biggest weapon. And instead, it's often the biggest weapon to, like, the biggest stick to hit AEW with, is that man climbed Everest. The level of human achievement that he has accomplished and experienced and the pain that goes along with that.
It's incomprehensible.
Makes these guys look like cartoon dickheads. You know, this is Dick Dastardly and Muttley attacking Darby Allin here, you know?
So just on top of everything else, cringe. The performances. Let's talk about what happened before the main event.
Yeah, sorry, to skip ahead to this then. It also really tickled me that we were like, quick, let's throw to, what happened? So Ricochet's just beaten Jungle Jack Perry. Oh, we've got to throw to the production truck. Play the video, right? Already I'm laughing.
Brought like a physical tape.
Yeah.
You got anything to play this on? No.
So they play the video.
USB stick. The recorder.
There you go.
Stick on it.
Gabe filming himself in the car with Clark Connors. And you see the body bag getting dragged behind the car. So presumably at some point they've kidnapped him, then put him in the body bag, and then chucked him behind the car. And they're driving through the desert, what have you. They get out, and Gabe Kidd says, "You said you were easy to find. I know." And he says, "Yeah." As Clark's like roughing him up and opening up the body bag, and he stands on Darby's throat, and he says, "See you in hell, Darb. I'm checked in 2 doors down.
I'm a demon." It's essentially what he's saying, isn't it?
Yeah. And then they cut the rope and leave Darby Allin in the desert, basically.
It's so cringe.
And that's when we go back to Excalibur, who goes, "Oh, hopefully get an update on that going forwards."
What did you say this morning when we talked about it over the desks?
What about The Undertaker and The Big Show? They're taking the worst promo of all time and made it real.
Yeah, and also just call the police.
Well, yeah, just call the police. The Death Riders like push. This is Miller's gimmick, isn't it? The crime counter. Like there is so much crime that never has any consequences.
No one gets suspended or arrested.
Yeah,
Or
Good job
no-
this wasn't on Collision because the cops would have been on the case, presumably then.
good point. Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching this.
Was there any witnesses? No, it's Collision.
And I'm cringing because it's like, I mean, I rate Gabe Kidd. I know he has his detractors. I think in the right context, he can come across as like this sort of like pretty vile, like intimidating thug. And I think it's an energy missing from pro wrestling. And I think when he doesn't overdo it, it's very effective and convincing. The worst of Gabe Kidd reeks ass. I'm sorry, it does. And this is the worst of Gabe Kidd. Like, what did he say?
See you in hell, Darb. I'm already checked in 2 doors down.
I'm a demon. But the other thing as well.
Oh, you said you were easy to find. I know.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like he's trying so hard, and that's the worst thing he can do in pretty much any walk of life. It just come off like the cringe tosser.
It's the worst of Darby Allin as well. Makes it feel like the character's got to exist in this universe only, which is, again, something that pulls him away from being the world champion, which is a feeling I feel like me and you experienced in stereo at one specific point in the John Moxley feud, and it's just like, all right, okay, no, he has to live over here. Yeah, imagine this world title picture as it currently is and as we love it, and then trying to insert like this Darby Allin into it. You're not into that, are you? Just like, get back to the desert. Like, piss around with your mates and body bags
like
and vans and that. It's just not...
It's cringe is what it is. It breaks the storytelling universe when AEW really strives to make it more real. It has no gravity because this has been happening to Darby Allin for 7 years. And the actual performances and the dialogue choices are cringe. And AEW just don't care about it either. It's like you can't imagine it as actually happening because it's so unconvincing and it's just not treated seriously. In my head, it's just Tony going, oh, Darby, this is your thing this week. And, the footage comes in. Great. It's just Darby's short film hour.
This Family Guy cutaway gag. You think that's bad? This is worse than the time I was dragged through the desert.
Yeah.
This is worse than the time I jumped off a bridge.
Yeah. I hope we get an update soon. Anyway.
So, after we first saw Darby Allin getting kidnapped, we go back to Hangman Adam Page versus Mark Davis. And we're told if Page wins this match, he'll move on to Grand Slam Australia and that number 1 contenders match for the AEW World title. Davis, though, attacks right at the bell, but Page fights back with a drop kick. He ends up on the floor, though, and he's placed in a chair at ringside. Davis runs all the way and smashes Hangman with his great ass. Make use of it. Love it. We go to a break, I think, there, and then when we come back, Page is biting his way free from a superplex. He wants a sunset bomb. Davis blocks that, but eventually Page sweeps out his legs and gets a power bomb. Page hits a couple of springboard lariats. He's telling on the outside, telling a commentary move. He wants a slingshot sunset bomb, but Davis fights out of that. Tries to smash Hangman against the barricade, but he's not there when that happens. So Page instead climbs into the crowd and hits an Orihara moonsault off the railing. Goes back inside, hits a second moonsault for a nice 2 count. They trade shots. Then Davis takes Page's head off.
Oh my God.
Worth the button.
Yeah, with a home run lariat and an awful waffle for a near fall. He wants it again, understandably, but Page gets his own. Davis is like, no, that's not how you do a lariat. So does it again. He wants to pull Page up into a pile driver. Page counters into a dead eye for 2. Davis dodges a buckshot. Page tries to skin the cat. Davis catches him, but he falls.
Oh my God.
This looked awesome.
Yeah, onto the ramp, and Page holds on and hits a tombstone. Back inside, buckshot, 1, 2, 3. Post-match, Hangman grabs a mic and says he stamped his ticket to Grand Slam Australia, hopes to see Kenny Omega there, and tells MJF if he wins his match, then at Revolution, he'll stomp every future child out of MJF's little balls and take back the title he never should have lost.
This is my least favorite genre of AEW match, especially 7 years in. And yet it must have been really, really well done.
Davis was really
I
good
got
in
something
there,
out of this because I thought Davis looked really, really good in there. And Hangman Page, like, he almost does it in this imperceptible way where I find, so this is my least favorite genre of Dynamite match, just because it was a cool thing once upon a while when you thought, and it was real and it actually happened. True elevation can happen when you get someone who's not on the same level of star, but my God, they're going back and forth and giving them a test. And then you don't keep an eye on the person. It was a trick. It's exhausted itself. No longer works. But Hangman just gets it in such a way that it's almost imperceptible in that he's given the guy loads of offense, but he treats these matches and works these matches as if it's like an obstacle to overcome, and he just does it because he's this really assured babyface and he's going to win in the end. Whereas other matches just feel like the sort of sludge of, it's their turn to do something. I don't know how to articulate it better than that, other than you never feel like Hangman Page has given the guy too much, or that they're lying to you and pretending that he's in any significant danger. You know he's going to get it done, and he just does it in this really cool ass-kicking way.
Because there's a version of events where people watch this and go, wait a second. You know, Omega, Swerve, and Andrade all on one side of the bracket, and Hangman Page, no offense, has had to go through one half of a newly formed tag team. It looked like here, like, Jesus, we want to step in there with Mark Davis.
Yeah, but then at the end, it's like you don't want to step in there with Hangman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw a tweet from a friend of the show, Ibu, who basically, I think quite rightly called Mark Davis working like he's just lost his tag partner and wants to keep his spot. And give it to him after that.
Yeah, you've nailed that there, Sidge. Like, he does, Hangman, there's an assuredness to how he wrestles, even when he's, like, kayfabe-wise, like, having to defend himself or whatever, where there's always this, like, sense of control.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, that, like, if you're the opponent of Hangman Page, the unease at any given moment, you're going to be on your ace again, because he's just going to, like, I don't know, he's going to bow up or something, or he's going to, like, have that strength that you didn't see coming, or that determination. I loved him as a TV champion defending his title in TV matches for that express reason. And Davis had a great night as well. I thoroughly,
Cowboy just
thoroughly
gets it
enjoyed
done.
this. Yeah, like, I don't know, he's a funny figure, Hangman Page. Like, he's a difficult character to book in some respects, and then yet the simplest of all when he wrestles matches like this. Like, I'm basing difficult on evidence, you know, him as a champion and where he's fit in as the, you know, the main character or whatever, but then sometimes the simple stuff's the best. Mark Davis was terrific here.
Yeah. We get a video package on Kevin Knight. Good stuff, this. Followed by Kenny Omega versus Andrade El Ídolo.
End-to-end presentation.
Oh my God.
And on behalf of Wilbourn, for the ladies, I presume.
Oh my God.
Thank you. I was just about to ask for that. There was some lovely ladies fawning over Andrade as part of his entrance. Although,
Not that it matters.
take your top off. Take your top off. No, Andrade, this is, by the way. That's not me being lewd.
Oh, yeah, okay. I will say, part of his things, can you not have the lovely ladies be there for the entire show? But then I've got a take on it that I don't think it matters, but we'll get to it.
So yeah, he got, well, you got top on. Take your top off, Andrade. But good things and all that. Strike battle. Andrade spits in the eye of Omega. Was it yesterday you were showing me the Brett spit yesterday?
Yeah, Sean absolutely covered him. Not the Sean spit. The Sean spit is in a dark match when he spits on a fan in the front row when he's the WWF champion and top babyface. 1996.
So, as revenge for that, Kenny just smashes Andrade with a knee strike. Don Callis, I did catch this on commentary, says Andrade is... Hang on. Andrade is so gorgeous, he should be in a romance novel riding a horse.
And I mean, folks, where's the lie?
I suppose he's going to ride that horse at Wrestling Australia. Anyway.
Why didn't he pop them bottoms off?
I know. Maybe next week.
Even smaller duds underneath.
Yeah. Maybe next week we'll get it.
But yes, Andrade
Good things come to those who wait.
hits some suplexes. Gator rolls to the outside. The third of the three amigos on the floor. Briefly distracted by the lovely littles. But but he hits the springboard tornado and then gives the ladies what they want. As we go, as we go to a break. We come back from the break.
He's that guy. He's that character. What's his life?
I don't want to know, man.
Matt Steele's like, you're joking, not another one. Thank you again. As always,
Love
for
the
the
ladies
list of bits.
admirer.
We come back from the break. Andrade hits that, or tries to hit that double spring moonsault that he does, but Omega's ready. Gets the boots up, hits some snapdragons, does Omega. As he goes for a third, though, Andrade escapes, but only does so and then gets sent into the corner to get hit with a V-trigger. Omega wanted an avalanche one-winged angel, but Andrade reversed that into a sunset bomb and a DDT that just spikes Omega for 2. Omega sets up for something big, but runs into that awesome spinning back elbow of Andrade's. Obviously, off the back of that, the referee checks on Omega, which allows Don Callis to get involved, chucks the screwdriver in there to Andrade. Callis takes the referee. Andrade wants the screwdriver shot, but Swerve Strickland's run down and takes it from him. But then in all the chaos, the referee's Aubrey's like, get out of here, Swerve. And that allows Andrade to low blow Omega and hit the DM. Love the fact that's the name of his finish. To get the 1-2-3. Post-match, he celebrates with the lovely ladies at ringside. And Omega and Swerve get into it before security do their job for once.
It looked a bit real, this.
Yeah.
It looked a little bit real for once. One of these brawls in AEW actually had a certain, like, I don't know, it just didn't feel like, right, okay, get the security out. They're having their swinging haymakers. Felt like they were there to actually settle something down before it could get out of control, because when everything's out of control, it can just feel like too rehearsed and everything.
There's a threat of the kickoff. It's sometimes like in real life, isn't it? The threat of the kickoff is uneasy as opposed to just a fight actually
Because
happening.
they're both good blokes. And Omega's like, why the f have you got involved in my match? And he swears, like, don't you come for me. I'm trying to help you. That prick's trying to use a screwdriver on you. And then that's,
Really, really well done that, but we'll get into it. I have a thought on the ladies. Now, it's so inspired a bit that no one, even pedantic knackers like myself, really care that it's completely contrived and they appear for the Andrade match and then just they're not there for the rest of the night. Maybe he's taken them to the hotel room for copious amounts of intercourse. So that would explain why they're not there afterwards. It's, you know what the deal is? They are paid.
What?
Right? They are paid to fawn over Andrade, right?
Yeah.
You know, Drenny's going to get some knickers to the face at some point. Like worked knickers.
Working knickers, not shooting knickers.
Yeah, working knickers to the face.
Yeah.
Anyway. Or as you call them in America, panties.
Oh, God.
I hate that word. I hate that word. But
unless
the thing
an
is,
American's saying it, that's all right.
it nonetheless works, right? Because in my dumb headcanon, not that you need it, it's like, well, maybe they're getting paid to do it, but maybe they also enjoy fawning over Andrade as well, because look at him.
Mm-hmm.
The body, the physique, the face, the package.
Well, his hair at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he looks, he's never looked hotter.
Yeah.
So it's the perfect time.
It was all over his face. I can't remember what happened, but he was in the corner. It was all over his face. And I was like, well, let's get that out of the way. I want to see what his face
The
looks
shampoo
like.
advert.
Yeah.
Back, yeah.
He's never looked hotter. There's never been a more viable thing to do. So that all works like gangbusters. I thought this match was really, really good. Not great. It was great to see Kenny in this kind of form, but you could tell, so that's why it wasn't this 20-minute completely electrifying back and forth. Like, some of it was fantastic. I loved the reminder. I think he chose this kick out. He always chooses the best time to do it. After that unbelievable elbow smash. The Kenny Omega, like, when he's pinching his shoulders almost together, crumpled, where he just kind of rolls out of it because he's still selling the pain as he's like, oh, God, that really hurts, but I need to get out of it. Like, he doesn't enthusiastically flail all of his limbs about because he's just like, he's had his rocked.
Yes.
So that when he's just like, he's still like, oh, Christ, my head's in agony. Like, it's jolted through my entire body. Oh, but I need to kick out. And he's like, he's sort of stiff as a board, hands up by his sides, and he just kind of does that roll over like sell body language. I love that kick out so much. It is amazing. It just looks like he is in agony, but he's still going to fight through. He always times it perfectly as well. He got dropped on his head a couple of times, or what looked like that. So I was like, that's good. That is encouraging. That means he might be back.
Check.
I still maintain, as good as his persona is, as physically great as Andrade has always been, and I don't think it matters that much, because if he's got this act and it's happening for him, getting over at long last, there's still that 4-star ceiling on an Andrade match. There's still that layer of emotion, the layer of drama that you just don't get you don't get from him that you do get out of the very, 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 very best in-ring workers in the world. Like, this was no Fletcher Bailey or, certain other, like, he's a hybrid guy, is Andrade. I still think he's in that lower echelon of, like, the best ones. And this match against this version of Omega, for me, was evidence of it. I'm just saying it was really, really, really good, but that's why I wouldn't put it it's great. But again, he's got the act now. Does it matter? I'm still completely invested in him. As for the booking and the result, love it. Because, first of all, it delays Omega's path to the world title. So if it's Dynasty in Canada, that match could be enormous, because you've got Ospreay coming back. You can imagine him working both MJF or Omega at All in London. The fact that they're seemingly delaying it, well, they are delaying it, this Omega thing with MJF, a second pay-per-view cycle, takes away from the fact that very few, if any, world champions have lost their first pay-per-view title defense. So I really love how they've delayed that, because I want to think either MJF or Omega could win, because they're the two biggest draws that they have.
Mm-hmm.
They're the two biggest actual go through the data difference makers in terms of like Joe as well, actually, to his credit. I'll give him that. So I love how they've delayed that. I love how when you think, I was initially shocked. I was like, oh, Christ, I did think it was going to be Omega. And then one of the reasons why I thought it was going to be Omega, and another incredible bit of detail and attention here, is that Hangman Page earlier in the night said, I really hope it's you. Omega's like, kind of want to test myself against you. Like, I will fight you even if I love you. So they've been basically telling you that's going to be a direction. I hope they resume that direction as well, because I want to see another singles match between those two. And as well, I'd forgotten this. It's almost like they've hidden it from me. But Swerve and Omega in that promo train, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, had that little bit of, do you want to fight me after all that? Like, what are we doing here with this?
Omega was the wedge between Swerve and Hangman for the first time.
I just thought it was sort of, oh, well, you have to tease a conflict because it's wrestling with everyone in this sort of scenario. I didn't think they were actually going to go back to it, but you can't have them say, oh, we're all sharing the ring as we have ambitions of being the number one contender.
Yeah.
You can't just have Kenny and Swerve go, well, good luck, sir. See you later. You have to engineer a bit of tension between all the players. I thought that was just a bit of you kind of have to do it, but we're not going back to it. They've gone back to it, and it's like, that's why they've done this. And if you think of how all the pieces connect and intertwine, it's really well thought out. And guess what? You get a potentially even bigger MJF Kenny match on the back of it. You get a first time in AEW, at least, Kenny versus Swerve match on the back of it. I have to say, I have no real interest in an MJF Hangman pay-per-view match. Really, I don't. But that is the epitome of, they'll get me on the night. I just think the Forbidden Door one wasn't for me. And they've done it twice last year, so that's not great. But people, even though he has of late been a empty-headed, dumb people still love and are with the Hangman, so it's not as if it's going to be a bad spectacle or a poor main event. People still believe these two wrestlers are really, really over, even if I'm off Hangman a little bit post All in Texas. And when you have the second not so great title reign, in addition to the stupidity he has exhibited in recent weeks off screen, I don't want that Hangman to win the title, for Christ's sake, do I?
No.
The best bet he's got of making me want to see him win the title is to turn heel again. So I don't like that, but I can see why they're going with it. But then for me, Kenny and Swerve sells that Revolution pay-per-view. So
yeah, This is like, I echo all of that. This is the sort of booking where you're sort of reminded, especially in contrast to Darby Allin in the desert, of what all of this is supposed to be. Like, we're long past the point where you can ever feasibly book a wrestling show like this. But the idea is everybody turns up to work, wants to be the world champion, wrestles matches to that goal, and then everything else is a diversion. An accidental diversion is what it's supposed to be. The hatred that forms wasn't what you planned that day. It just so happens that the series of events triggered that hatred, and then you have the match, and then you try and get back on track. We use Punk and MJF as the example all the time. The two men bumped into each other when they did, because they were both on course to win the world title at the same time. And then that hatred grew from within it, and it was like, right, well, now we have to deal with this before we can get back to our goal. And sure enough, Punk would go on to do that. MJF would intend to do it later on. Here, you've got in Kenny Omega, and that point a few weeks ago, as you pointed out, like the point at which Hangman and Swerve are just duding out every week as mates, and and then all of a sudden there's a title hunt, so everyone kind of starts afresh, and it's like everyone's in this new title hunt. What has happened since then, if you track it, is a series of wins and losses that have brought. So if Kenny Omega wins tonight, so what if he's got a bit of beef with Swerve, because his goal is the world title and he's on track, but he's lost, and before he can even really pass that loss, he's pissed off with this guy who he's already got a little bit of beef with, another guy who has lost and hasn't had time to pass that loss because he's actually come out to do something good, but these circumstances have conspired to force them into like kind of one another for a feud. Meanwhile, Andrade moves on and moves forward. Hangman Page has moved on and moved forward. He wants that Kenny Omega match. There's that, like, even breathing it back into existence means that it's not built out of anger, but there's got to be another match down the line. He can't get it now because he's also on his own path to the title. This is like, everybody should be tunnel visioned until something inadvertently pulls them off the path. This is perfect, really, for like a title picture, a title scene, title runs. You've got it with Brody King on the other side of like MJF's little sort of two-hander that he's running at the moment, brilliantly so. This is what it's all about. Yeah, as Sidge points out, you can debate which match you prefer out of, say, MJF, Hangman, and Swerve and Omega. I'm with you. I think Swerve Omega is way more interesting. But the point is, you've simultaneously booked this fabulous, big-time, proper star title match.
You got double main event, really.
And a brand spanking new singles match between two proper AEW big stars. It's the proper stuff, this.
It's the proper stuff. The top of the card booking in AEW has been tremendous in 2026. And it's just so nice to be able to anticipate a significant, loaded with stakes, fresh Kenny Omega singles match. It's awesome.
Tony Khan is the last person that needs telling, right? Because he was the guy that tried in 2019, 2020, 2021 to bring this back. But like we've just said that we both prefer Swerve and Omega, double main event, all those words. This has been built because they're both taking losses, big losses.
Really bothered by it.
Off the back of defeats. Like, this is a key reminder. Like, this matters. Yeah, it matters.
Well, speaking of the title picture, in the women's division, Renee is backstage with Kris Statlander. She has agreed with Tekla.
Why? She beat her clean in the middle.
Not to be out there for this tag team eliminator. And as a result of that, if they stick to it, she's going to give Tekla a rematch next week. But Stat gets to choose the stipulation. And she's going to make her weight. She's going to reveal the stip on Collision. But Tekla will learn why Stat is the cosmic killer.
She beat Tekla clean in the middle.
Is this like a listen to your audience deal? Was the general consensus what we certainly shared in this room of Tekla was kind of like outworked, outperformed? A lot of people were watching this thinking, that feels like there should be a title change here and there's not, they missed the window. Is this an attempt to listen to the audience and be like, all right, we're listening, we'll run it back and we'll do it this time?
I don't know.
It is weird. The circumstances are odd, but like,
I just think the booking's not very well thought out.
No.
Odd.
They've done this with the tags and the singles, haven't they? Because the Babes of Wrath offered the same.
Yes.
For the Sisters I've seen.
Yeah. But then the Babes of Wrath
So
were
I
out
would
there.
suggest it was the plan, just a bad one.
Yeah.
I always have a plan. It's a bad plan. Yeah, the Babes of Wrath, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron, then took on Mega Bad, Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford in a women's tag team title eliminator. To take us into a break, Penelope runs a distraction and Bayne hits a Corner Hurricane Rana and a Tope Suicida. So Mega Bad are in control as we head to a break. Willow's getting worked over the entire commercial. But when we come back, she hits a pounce on Penelope Ford, and we get the hot tag to Harley Cameron. During which Mega Bad want a delayed vertical suplex, but Cameron counters that into a double DDT. Bayne eventually recovers, goes up top, but gets cut off. And then Nightingale joins her up there. Joins Harley Cameron, that is, up there. And they hit a double superplex. Ford flies in with a double blockbuster off the top. Everyone's down. There's a tilt-a-whirl DDT on Bayne. Nightingale follows that with a spinebuster, but Megan Bayne kicks out. Ford saves her. Bayne launches her into Nightingale for an assisted cutter, and then they take out Cameron with the Doomsday device to get the 1, 2, 3, and they will get a title shot at the women's tag titles at Grand Slam Australia.
It's a good job that Harley Cameron's next big match is going to be in front of, hopefully, it will end up being a decent-sized home country crowd, because she is, I mean, people like her. She seems like a nice person. She's worked really hard considering her level of experience, and you can probably tell where this is going, because I'm not that much of an arsehole. I try to say some nice things and try to understand why someone isn't where they're at, because Harley Cameron is pretty poor. Like, I'm just watching this, and it's different to the first match that we reviewed, where it's like a load of competent moves in a intelligent order. I couldn't possibly care. I see them every week, and I don't like where the characters are at. This was like bad moves happening in front of me. Like, it just felt like 4 wrestlers following as best they could, which wasn't good at all, the instructions of them, like the agents and then their ideas. Right, this is the match we have. Let's just go for it. I didn't think anything Cameron did look good. That spirited, plucky, like, it can be good. If your stuff doesn't look good and you're playing the kind of character Harley Cameron does, it's almost feature, not a bug. It's like, oh, they're trying hard. And it's unrefined, but my God, they'll get there in the end. When you don't get there in the end and you're meant to be a champion caliber wrestler, it doesn't work at all. I'm actively going, that wouldn't hurt, that wouldn't hurt, that looked fake, that wouldn't hurt. You look really uncoordinated there. That move where it's the Willow assists the Harley Cameron splash, it's legitimately like if I'm doing play wrestling with my kids and they're sprawled on the couch and you go, splash, like you don't want to like wind them.
Yeah.
That would be child abuse.
Yeah.
So you do you work it like a worker. You slap your hands down, but then you just like, you know what I mean? You just don't do it. She didn't do it. It's just like, there's no impact whatsoever. It just looks like you're sort of gently falling on someone to not hurt them because they're 6 years old and they're under your legal purview to not die.
I think we tried quite hard on this podcast to not call out bad execution for bad execution's sake.
This is crap.
Like, and there's always examples of it, but I think it's when it needs highlighting. Like,
She's meant to be a champion now.
Well, yeah, needs. I say where it is on the internet, but when it feels worthy of highlighting, like she's a tag team champion, like best in the field. The finisher, the Joe Hendry, Ricky Saints bit of the ladder match, various elements of the Royal Rumble when, like both Rumbles, when like wrestlers supposed to be fighting for their lives. Maxine Dupree has been trained to be a great submission wrestler. Like I'm trying to highlight like things at which, well, in which case this can't be.
Yeah.
You know, like there are 4 examples from the last few weeks, but I don't want to, I've never taken a bump, could never throw a work punch, all that sort of stuff. I appreciate it. It must be incredibly difficult to do the stuff that we just treat as the minimum expectation. But in a match where you've got a champion wrestling, I think you're allowed to hold certain things for standard. There was a couple of flurries here that were, you know, like
excruciating.
Don't look away, but excruciating. Like, and Willow Nightingale's one of the very best for execution. So that I think she is an accidental. And I'm not just talking to Harley Cameron here, by the way. Sometimes it's Harley Cameron has good nights, and like there was a period. Remember where she was improving literally match by match. You're like, this is why the push is happening. It's not about puppeteering and the
then
singing.
The schedule talk comes into it.
Yeah,
if you're working a maximum of twice a week or whatever, it's just not going to work, is it?
It's Leon Slater versus 20 guys in the performance center.
Yeah,
just when you can see the difference and stuff. Yeah. Megan Bayne continues to impress me. And I wonder if they are going to switch the women's title and she's going to be, not stuck, but she's going to end up in this tag title fouad or possibly Willow for the TBS. Because it seemed like she would be perfect for Stat, but maybe not now. I don't know.
But as I say, that was the one women's match on the card, which means we have to get to the name of the game. But before that, of course, the aim of the game.
The aim of the game is to identify to the hour, minute, and second the first time you hear the first note for the first entrance theme for the first woman to come out and compete for the only women's match on Dynamite. With the idea being, if we can nail this time to the second, right, it'll put in bold, italicize, and indeed underscore the problem that we have noticed. Cynically, perhaps, but the pattern and the problem all at once. And, you know, come here. It'll be our little secret. Tony Khan, AEW, come Warner, right?
Who's that guy?
They appear, wouldn't you like to know? They appear to have set out a bit of a system by which to try and have their geek and ate it too. So the first hour you'll notice is wild balls. Men's match. Yes, rather unhelpfully, you got a mixed tag last night, but come on. It's pretty rare. Okay. So what happens is, wall-to-wall balls in the first hour to appease the blokes, which is the primary objective. But then, at some point, because they'll bloody kick off if there's no birds on in 2026, you've got to start really considering in the Wogs. Yes, I know. That's my reaction to Zaslav's cat. However, it's better PR if we just kind of sneak. How did that get in there? If we just sneak a women's division into the program, okay? So if we can just do it before the main event, okay, the blokes will start to think of that. You know that. How do they say it? That sunk cost fallacy deal where it's like, Christ, bloody hell, women. Ugh. Nonetheless, we are close to the main event. I will therefore watch the show for the full duration. That is what I think is going on here. Because, you have to factor in the Wogs. But if you just put the one women's match on at this specific time almost every single week, and they've actually stopped the pretense, it would seem, of doing them in the first hour to try and throw people off the scent, then Jim and Joe will, and they are, of course, the avatars for the blokes in this scenario, they will be appeased, you know? Because what will happen is they're watching good action. God, I love these Death Riders. Tough guys in the Death Riders. That Wheeler Yuta looks like a bit of a pussy, actually. For, John Moxley and Claudio, I like the cut of their Jim. Good action. Is it Jim or Joe? Joe, stop sitting on the clicker. Because the view's just come on. Well, it's not the view, Jim. It's the incredible women's athletes here in All Elite Wrestling. Women's athletes. Okay. All right. I heard it all now. Athletes? In what sport? The ironing Olympics? What's going on? No. The women's wrestlers. Well, where's the jelly? No, they compete for championships. And you liked it? Well, yes, actually, they're in many cases better. Check it out! Jim and Bomber, everybody! So that's Jim and Joe. We've done Zaslav's cat. I think we're at the point now where I can say, you've said too much. Therefore, jingleize it, sure can. Don't worry, guys. When the women come out to play, the main event ain't too far away. That's the aim of the game. The name of the game, of course, is, well, this is ladies' night, and I'm thinking, oh, what a night.
Thanks as always. Go to the Panda Blair himself, Adam Blair, at Adam Wilton 4. I'm glad to hear he is feeling better.
Oh, that's good. That is good news.
And Jose Palomares at the Ho 11, who brilliantly stepped up in Adam's absence last week. They always take care of the
data.
Thanks. Sid, do you want to run through our guesses from the Dynamite preview?
Yeah, indie sending.
Sending.
And literally, this is not a bit. Not that we do bits, but if we did do bits, this is, I don't know.
Press the button. Always wrong first.
Michael search work. 1 hour, 18 minutes and 30 seconds. And this must have been pretty close. Because next is Michael Hamflett. 1 hour, 23 minutes, 44 seconds. Then Adam Wilbourn with a guess of...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dr. Fed on the score sheet.
Yeah.
1 hour, 21 minutes and 46 seconds.
Oh, man, I can't be asked to work out the difference, but it's got to be tight.
Yeah. We're all pretty close to that as well in terms of... I do think we're going to get it this year. I'm confident.
Circling it.
That means things are getting worse.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not just about your trophies.
Anyway, after all this, we get a video package on the TNT title match from Collision with the debuting huge rating straw Tommaso Ciampa defeating Mark Briscoe.
Tommaso Nielsen.
I know.
90% or whatever it was. We see him sitting backstage holding the TNT title. He says out of respect for the title and Mark Briscoe, he's going to carry on the open challenge tradition. It's going to happen on Collision in Vegas. He won't be hard to find. Sylvie loves her new home and isn't going away for a long time. And we find out that the challenge has been answered by both Roderick Strong and Claudio Castagnoli. So.
Not that anybody cares. There is no point in going, guys, I'm impartial. You should think about this and No one, everyone just makes stuff up in their own completely deranged heads. That's the world we live in. But, if proof were needed, not that people will accept it. 2019, the origin.
What's going here?
The origin of the Wednesday Night War podcast, this podcast, it all started back then. I would say, look at how many matches AEW are giving you with the stable war. Look at the tone with Chris Jericho and Cody, how it can be fun and serious. And look at this explosion of old ideas made new and then some new ideas. And then over on the other channel, which is why I don't like it very much, you got this kind of off-putting baby face who wants to his gold-plated belt. Goldie, Tommaso Ciampa.
Fondling it, wasn't it?
Oh, Goldie. You know what I mean? What the hell is this? This is your top baby face gunning for the...
Yeah.
This is your big top main event program because I don't want to watch an old man a belt.
Yeah.
And now that he's doing it in AEW, it still gives me the same ick. When he said Sylvie, I was like, I'd take the belt off him. I was actually quite into the bold new introduction of a character, but Sylvie, oh my God, take it off him.
Don't want to watch an old...
You're going to that belt.
So true.
It's so weird. I don't like how he wants to shag his belt, man.
It's thinking to me trying to scrappy do my way through an NXT while Cody's delighting 10,000 euphoric fans and Tommaso Ciampa's fondling an inanimate object with a close. Give it up, Hamflett, for sake.
How about I give it some of this action?
However, we did talk about this in the office. What a moment. Mega draw Ciampa mixed in with the lowest draw in wrestling main event in AEW history. Something's got to give. Which is it?
The Psycho Killer versus the Reign.
Just one more fight.
Which is it?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Hoorah! Sicko edition.
Yeah.
Then it was time for the national title to be defended by Ricochet. He's in the news quite a lot today against Jack Perry.
This felt like one of them, God, this is still to come on the pay-per-view things on a Dynamite.
I know. I'll tell you what, the Ricochet's class. I will say that.
I heard he was shooting his mouth off. Sounded good.
Well. Ricochet, he's just candid Ricochet. I've made my money in wrestling now, and sometimes he seems really dumb. Or maybe smarter than most. And maybe there's no whatever. He is very much, maybe he just realizes I can go to WWE, just say the same things, but opposite, and there's 50% of the people, or 80 at this point, considering the difference in viewership. And they'll just believe any old crap I say. Like CM Punk outwardly says, I am lying to you people at all times, even though my gimmick is the guy who tells the truth. Because he was saying as well, like, people give me crap about, I reckon WrestleMania Night 1 is a valid main event because of some promo I cut 4 years ago. It's not real. You're the easiest people to work. Like, he's outright saying, I'm just, I'm a corny liar, whatever. So Ricochet's been saying stuff like, Balor, Nakamura, Apollo Crews, like, they just get the passion beat out of them just like I did. Terrible place to work. You'll lose your love of wrestling. AEW's the best. Like, Ricochet is the subject of that joke that Brian Myers tells on his podcast about why I didn't help Bret Hart at the 2019 Hall of Fame. It's because Ricochet and Aleister Black were clapping so hard for Hunter that my eardrums burst. So I couldn't hear that there's any commotion. I had no idea Bret Hart was in danger.
It's an all-time burial. Great.
Unbelievable. Yeah. It's like,
And he's friends with Zack Ryder.
It's like
He's clapping so hard. I don't know why they're hard, but
there's a benefit. There's a positive and a negative, I reckon, about every single age in the world. That's just how life works, The positive about being 40 is that you start to you don't sweat little dumb things. Other than certain performances from your football team. But you just get like, who cares about what this person has to say? It can't affect me. And then there's like, this is a bit of a stress in my life, actually. I've got 2 kids aged 10 and 7. I think I might have been through worse or more stressful or more scary. These things are fine. But then on the other side, it's like, oh, Christ, I've seen this all before.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great wrestling move. Seen that before. Or like, this wrestler says something. I don't believe you. I'll never believe anything that comes out of any of your mouths ever again. Yeah, it does expedite your cynical side being 40 years old. So this Ricochet stuff, it's like, you'll be in the Fed in 3 years. Who cares? That's ultimately where I'm at with it.
I haven't seen all of it, but from what he was saying, it's good that he's stuck up for himself in that. Like, talk for yourself. It's taking a bit of a swing, isn't it, to speak on other people's behalves that still work there?
Because they might have confided in you that this sucks here, but I'm making money, so who cares?
Balor's just got like his big title match up.
I know.
Right there.
But he might be re-energized, Balor.
Yeah.
Who knows?
They all switch it on and off, man. They're workers.
So Jack Perry hits a dive at the bell and a somersault off the stage to follow that up. But Ricochet guillotines him on the middle rope.
Guillotine.
Perry wants a bulldog.
Is.
But Ricochet catches Perry, smashes him into the commentary desk, takes us to a break. When we come back, Perry jumps for a DDT, but Ricochet blocks. Rolling Northern Lights, brainbuster, suplex on the apron, DVD on the floor.
The way he linked this together was awesome.
Yeah. Really, really nice. He chucks Perry back inside. Springboard lariat and a running DVD for 2. And then Ricochet just grabs the title right in front of the ref. He slides it in, obviously to provide a distraction. Wants a low blow, but Perry blocks that. Thrust kick. But as he goes for a bounce back, Ricochet hits a lariat to Jack Perry. The powerbomb DVD gets countered by Perry into a poison rana, leaping DDT and a cutter, but Ricochet kicks out. Perry wants the sacrifice knee. Ricochet dodges that.
God.
They trade schoolboys. Perry gets him with a snare trap. Ricochet's desperate to get to the ropes. Almost gets there. Perry pulls him back to the center of the ring. This is when the Gates of Agony run out. Bishop Coin distracts the referee as Toleona pulls Ricochet to the ropes whilst flipping off Jack Perry. And the Young Bucks come out at this point. I forgot they were going to be on this show until this happened. They hit Bishop Coin in the back with a chair. Nick dives onto Toleona. As all this is happening, though, the belt has been placed in the corner by Ricochet, and Perry accidentally, as he goes for Ricochet, gets sent face first into the title, and Ricochet hits Vertigo to retain. I don't know why I laughed, but Tony Schiavone on commentary said, tough break there for Jack Perry, but at least the Gates of Agony were kept away. No, they weren't. They literally played into the finish of this match, Tony. But still, we are getting the Young Bucks, Gates of Agony on Collision. The winners enter a three-way with a mystery team, I think.
People have speculated that it's Cope and Christian which makes me sad. But then I wouldn't mind seeing the Bucks mix it up against them. You know.
Yeah, I don't think Cope and Christian was fully explored before the injuries. There's more to do. There's more
You'd hope
pairings
so. It's
to
just
see now, I think.
anything related to Cope just instantly just repels me.
Less so in the office. I think we're warming to Cope.
Yeah, because we like to mercilessly take the piss out of him.
Yeah, that's why
What
that
was his
is.
phrase?
Yeah, it's when he's trying to promote the match with Suzuki, which is like a really novelty WrestleMania weekend match more than anything else at that point. Just a couple of gnarled evil bastards beating the crap out of each other.
All right, Edge.
It wasn't even that hard hitting. Christ. I will say that thank you for Tremors 2ing Jack Perry, because he just feels like their new Omega. So it's not Kevin Bacon, thank God. Like he's been like allowed to do like, you know, that it just feels like he's just going to be the Kenny Omega that we hang around with and do trio stuff with and have friendship storylines with.
Yeah.
Please do. Do it forever. Do that forever. So that's good. The match was exactly what I thought it was going to be on the preview. Just 2019 ass. Nothing. Feels a bit old hat. A bit bored of this type of thing. But then
the clock going. Come on, boys.
But then
Title
Ricochet.
eliminator coming up.
But then Ricochet did certain things in it that were like, God, you are incredible at what you do. I never got that out of Perry. He's always like good in a Jack Perry way. It's like he's failed to be a heel and he's not doing anything in the babyface role that makes me think he's got a chance of being any better than he was in 2022. Uninspiring, really, all this.
Yeah, just fine. It's weird. Like, can't really criticize the poor execution of the women's match without praising the great execution in this one, and there was some in places, but it's so rarely these like. Again, it's a little bit that excess that still creeps in with AEW. They had a massive like
Ricochet. Sorry, he is an idiot. I've decided.
Oh.
He was talking about how like the titles in WWE are meaningless.
Wow.
I mean, come on.
Not
I know you're trying to work and get me or an AEW fan to go, yeah, that's right. But you're the national champion.
Well, like they did the violent.
That's
yeah,
the
it's
one?
the national champion.
Yeah,
Hangman Page came out with a belt earlier, by the way.
Yes, same.
Where's he got a belt from?
Jet
He's
Speed,
a
isn't it?
trios champion,
Yeah.
yeah.
Same.
I think it's quite nice that he does that because it'd be one of them things where people could easily forget already that they won the trios belts. Yeah, the backstage vignette last week where it was like quite a violent beatdown of Jack Perry by the three of them, and then you get this wrestling match.
Fresh as a daisy.
Fresh as a daisy wrestling match,
there was
hold
even a
exchange.
beat.
Yeah, I know.
You know, this is like to a much lesser extent, obviously, but like this should be Jack Perry out for blood, that kind of thing, and then everything just gets like lost to the exchange of holds, doesn't it? And you may as
the
well have
Excalibur of it all.
yeah, you may as well have not done the violence backstage last week for all people cared or remembered it anyway.
Yeah.
It's
Well, speaking of violence, this is when we got the Gabe, Clark Connors, See in Hell Darb. I think I'm in hell with a boy who lives 2 doors down. Mystery Jets. And by the way, I made a joke about the whole, come on, boys, we got the world title eliminator. That's not me saying that it was really predictable what's about to happen, by the way, because, of course, AEW is infamous for doing overruns.
Yes.
So we get to MJF versus Brody King, and you're thinking, well, if you're watching it like me, you're looking at the time left, a bit like Goldberg, Kevin Owens, going, well, this isn't going to end well for somebody.
yeah.
But,
Yeah, if you're
nevertheless,
watching it on delay, like a dumb Brit asshole.
Yes, nevertheless.
It's a bit different.
for the live viewers, this must have been incredible. MJF, Brody King, world title eliminator, obviously. Great chant to start this match off. Well, even before the match even started, King nods his approval, having announced earlier on in the day, I've read this on social media, that his shirt and the comic that he put out recently raised $58,000 to the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee Education Fund.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Amazing, not yet. But right as the bell sounds, Hangman Page's music hits. What the hell are you doing here?
Good question, actually.
MJF turns his attention to the ramp. Big mistake. Huge. Because Brody King's right behind MJF and chokes him out. Well, we've seen that before. Yeah, Brody King did it first. I'm just joking. I was tempted to make the joke, and then I realised people wouldn't get it, would they? They think I'm be one of the shills who actually did that yesterday.
You're a shill, though.
How do you mean?
It's like cynical bacon.
Because you just are.
So he's got him with the.
I don't really like. There's too many great wrestling matches on AEW. It's a bit boring, and wrestling for the sake of good wrestling. It's not my kind of thing. Oh my god, Ilya Dragunov on SmackDown.
Is that Batista cannons or double one?
No, it's him having two cocks. I don't know why, but just in my head, he just ended up having two.
Yeah.
I've still got 5, so I'm
I was
winning.
gonna say, he's still got the most.
I'm still winning. I'm still winning, so I won the cocks.
Guess what, ladies? He does his own ironing too.
5 cocks and an ironing board.
Right, so we should talk about this match. Everyone's talking about it. So,
That's a fucking sequel to 4 Wins and a Funeral.
Yeah.
So, right, start from the beginning because everyone's talking about this match and we should.
Yeah, it was really good.
Hangman Page music hits. MJF, what's all that about? Turns around, King chokes him with the hanging sleeper off the apron, crumples to the floor, collapses down, and King just brings him back inside. Corner cannonball, Gonzo bomb, squash win, 1, 2, 3. I'll mention the post-match and then you can talk about all this because post-match he stands there, does Brody King. Now he's got his title shot, obviously, holding the AEW title. Andrade rushes the ring, hits that spinning back elbow. Andrade picks up MJF and spikes him with a DM. Hangman Page runs down, though, and hits a buckshot. He wants one on MJF, but MJF kicks him in the cock. But by this time, Brody King has recovered. Another Gonzo bomb on MJF, and Brody King stands tall as this show goes off the air. What a shock!
I loved the idea, I think almost significantly more than the execution here. Thought MJF took the Gonzo bomb like crazy. It was like so close. I just thought that was wonderful. However, right, I think MJF could have lasted a little bit longer in the choke. It bordered it approached. It's fine. I'm the only person I think online who's got a single issue with this, right? And even then, it's just a pretty small note. It almost looked a bit slapstick. Not like you've just been choked out by a killer you are going to lose your title to this dude, barring a miracle in Australia. It just felt a little bit too funny, that bit. Whereas it could have felt like, oh my God, you're in trouble next week. Because if he's like the tongue's coming out and like it's just like he looks dead. Boss man at WrestleMania 15's out. You know what I mean? It looks like he's in trouble as opposed to, something quite funny's happened to MJF, you know? I would have waited a little bit longer. But, it's by the by. No one else cares about that. I hated hearing Hangman's music. I'm assuming Hangman's beat Mark Davis and he's going to wrestle Andrade and he's going to fight whoever the champion is. So it doesn't really matter. He just wanted to do it to MJF because he doesn't like him and that's fine. That's okay, then that's okay. What I hate about it is I talk a lot about, and I'm trying to use the word rinky-dink about AEW, right? Certain production choices make it feel rinky-dink. Some of the backstage stuff just feels rinky-dink. Like when you are doing a similar thing to the market leader has been doing for about 25 years at this point, and it looks not as expensive or it just looks cheaper, it's going to feel like an imitation, like rinky-dink stuff, right? There's stuff with Darby Allin on the show, rinky-dink, fake, cringe, whatever. Think about how small this venue was, right? Think about, and we know too much, and that's, you can use it to your advantage when you're telling stories, or it can really undermine the stories that you're trying to tell. And it's yous who are doing it. It's not us as wrestling fans. WWE's doing Unreal. Tony Khan is doing post-show press conferences and telling you it's all a show, right? So you're reminded you're watching a show. There's not enough care and attention made to presenting something to the contrary, whether that's possible or not now in 2026. But regardless, think you're in it's a building, you're watching it, the ring's there, the ramp's there, the venue's not the biggest, so the ramp looks like it's 6 inches long, okay? So you've got the curtain there from which Hangman Page appears, the music's blaring, okay? Like, Tony Khan is right next to Hangman Page because we know what Gorilla is. So he's like, music! Press the button. And then Ghost Town Triumph comes out. So Tony Khan is like, he's willing, like, the playing the entrance music is such a fake decision. And at this point, Steve Austin getting pops like that in 1998 has fundamentally ruined professional wrestling because that's when they started hammering it, isn't it? Really. Yeah. Hammering it. 1998, why would you not? You wouldn't not. I mean, listen to these audiences are going crazy. But because they went so crazy, and because they're therefore, I will do it for everyone. If you smell, let's do this all the time. It's just become part of the wrestling like language. The law, the rule book. When you consider doing it here in this context in a smaller building, where you know how close they are, you know the world is meant to be a little bit less wacky than the 1998 of the WWF. You know it should be, but it isn't. It's just like Tony Khan is endorsing that for not even that big a pop for Hangman. Let's be honest, he's endorsing someone interfering with the world title match in a promotion that can't help but do WWE things almost unconsciously at this point, but it's meant to be something else. I just don't need... If he's coming out from the stand, you can still do this if you must. And it's good. You advance the story, you build the pay-per-view match for when it happens, and you are deepening investment in it. Have him come out the crowd. Do something else that isn't his music. It just makes it feel like a show. That's a me thing, but I really do think I'm correct and should be listened to at all times. I should.
Yeah, I love that they did this.
I love the idea. It's great. It heats up, because I feel like I should say the good things about the really well-received angle. It's like they've did this in such an emphatic way that, I mean, it's not a free hit because that makes it sound cheap and easy, but they've worked so hard at this idea and the execution of it that Grand Slam Australia is a free hit with this match.
Yeah.
MJF is going to create drama by simply surviving Brody King, you know? Brody King is
not
kicked his ass.
Not giving the match before the match, almost, yeah.
Yeah, Brody, and they've kept it fresh. Brody King is going to get a near fall on this bitch MJF, as he was framed last night, by doing a single move to him. They've created a drama factory next week by doing this. So the ends justify the means totally. I will say, again, like, the overrun and the precedent for it helps. I would have swapped this in Omega Andrade. Or I think it would have felt like so much more like a shock. But like in your head, you start to think, oh, well, maybe it's not going to be a squash because of overruns. But when you start to ask that question to yourself, deep down, you know the finish.
Yeah.
Deep down, you know what's coming. I would have swapped them around.
Yeah, I guess if you'd have done it, because they mentioned, was it the mixed tag as a standby match?
Yeah.
If this had gone on earlier, then they could not have accounted for this match being as short as it was. And the standby
still would
match
have gone on before the world title eliminator.
If the mixed tag went on after, say they completely reshuffle the show and the MJF Brody thing happens and you're like, Jesus Christ, what do we do? That's when you do the mixed tag standby.
20 minutes light or something.
And then and it's sort of Omega Andrade isn't a main event.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
I love this. It's like, said yesterday when we talked about the possibility of it on the preview, that it just takes guts to book this, because I don't know if it's like a promoter's panic on just how thick they think the wrestling fans are to not occasionally see the champion or the top star getting pinned. But I love it when it occurs. You can't do it all the time. You can't abuse it. You know, we always go back to Brody Lee and Cody Rhodes as the absolute pinnacle of this type of booking. But what that does for not just the wrestlers that are directly involved, but the feeling that you have as an audience member of this show, like, it's honestly like the kind of not the money you make, but the benefit you get doesn't really reveal itself until much further down the line, because it just instills this faith you've got in the process a lot more. You were
saying about how eliminators now, you got 2 eliminators on the show that have both led to now title matches.
Can I just say as well, that's a good point, and it's about time. Didn't Excalibur say something to the effect of, these eliminators are pointless usually, but this one, didn't he?
He said after the women's one, yes, something along those lines. I was surprised to see someone
actually win one of these goddamn pointless things, but I suppose it's good.
Yeah. Shooting there on calling one too many of them.
It's either that or he's hopeless at his job.
But it instills belief anyway, in the a suspension of disbelief at least, that you can get this happening anytime. You know, I didn't really think about it until we've actually talked this through, but there is a theme of the power of defeat running through this Dynamite, which was so instilled in the early days of AEW because WWE had abused it.
Probably
and
that's
ruined
why
it
I'm
and
so
everything.
high on this episode. I know it hasn't sounded like it at times.
But like the actual meaning of the losses that you suffer in the ring was like prevalent throughout this, and to the betterment of multiple shows that we're going to be talking about as well in the future. I just on execution, you got to go back and watch if you didn't pick it up in the moment. The buckshot on Andrade is like Braun just hitting ISO speed with the spear. Like Andrade, the time, like Hangman's like, I'm going, and Andrade just like turns into it. It's great. You're like, oh my god, is he gonna catch him on the side here and buckshot his neck off? Like, but Andrade just turns in. It's really nice because obviously it's supposed to be this idea of like there's a lot going on, so you shouldn't just be stood there.
Bodes well for their main event.
Yeah,
and
like
their chemistry in it.
Kind of Mortal Kombat selling when it's a busy atmosphere. So really, really good that. I love that they did it. I really, really love that they did this.
Yeah, me too. Well, to a certain extent, obviously, but it's, I'm very excited to see how MJF responds to this on the Go Home show as well next week, because he has to deal with it. He can't just say like, "Oh, it's because I got distracted." He's gonna have to.
He will say that.
Well, he'll say that, but in terms of like trying to regain his sort of like swagger.
Quite nice that he put the bounty on Hangman's head, so Hangman's got extra reason to be pissed off with him.
Yes,
you know,
That's
like
just- there's a lot
everything's
of, like,
getting thought through. You know,
All the pieces matter.
Well, that's no thoughts on AEW Dynamite.
just
What was the new
It's made me
character? Come here, I've got a little secret.
Come here.
imagine like that iconic, gorgeous, awesome, like wire closing credits music. That being what like wraps up one of these podcasts. Super serious.
Let us know your thoughts on AEW Dynamite in the comment section below, or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Watch there, you can follow all four of us, sort of. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
HamflettX@gmail.com. I'm also on Cameo.
follow Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
follow our brilliant producer Adam Nicholas at
Give me the creeps, that. It's Adam Nicholas.
and you can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE, as I said, and make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. For now, though, this has been the Dynamite Review. My thanks to Hamflett, to Sidgwick, to Nicholas. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.